Picture this: 4,500 years ago, in the scorching desert of Egypt, workers somehow moved 2.5 million stone blocks. Each block weighs as much as a modern car. Some weigh as much as trucks. They lifted them hundreds of feet into the air with perfect precision. No cranes, no wheels, no modern tools. The result? Monuments so perfect they align with distant stars. So precise they make our modern construction look clumsy. So advanced that we still can't fully explain how they were built. Tonight, we're diving deep into the secrets that mainstream archaeology doesn't want you to know. The evidence they've buried, the theories they've dismissed, the possibilities they refuse to consider. What if everything we've been told about the pyramids is wrong? What if the ancient Egyptians had help from somewhere else entirely? Before we begin tonight's journey, take a moment to like this video and subscribe, but only if you truly enjoy exploring mysteries with us. And I'd love to know where you're tuning in from and what time it is for you right now. It's always fascinating to see listeners joining from every corner of the world. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Stand at the base of the Great Pyramid of Giza and look up. 481 feet of perfectly fitted stone blocks rising toward the sky like a mountain built by gods. Each side measures exactly 756 feet. The margin of error across the entire base? Less than half an inch. Think about that for a moment. Less than half an inch of deviation across a structure that covers 13 acres. Modern construction crews, armed with laser levels, GPS technology, and computer-controlled equipment, struggle to achieve such precision. Yet somehow, 4,500 years ago, ancient builders created something that makes our most advanced engineering look clumsy by comparison. The Great Pyramid aligns to true north within just 3/60ths of a degree. To put that in perspective, the magnetic compass in your phone is less accurate. These ancient builders achieved this precision without satellites, without modern surveying equipment, without any of the technology we consider essential for large-scale construction projects. But the precision goes much deeper than surface measurements. Walk inside the pyramid, and you'll discover that the internal chambers are positioned with mathematical perfection that seems almost supernatural. The king's chamber sits at exactly 1/3 of the pyramid's total height. The angle of the ascending passages matches the angle of the pyramid's exterior faces with surgical accuracy. Each limestone block was cut and fitted so precisely that you can't slip a knife blade between them. No mortar was needed to hold these massive stones in place. They support themselves through perfect engineering and the precise application of weight and pressure across millions of contact points. Engineers today openly admit they would struggle to replicate this level of accuracy, even with all our modern equipment. The logistics alone would be staggering. Moving and positioning over 2 million blocks, each weighing between 2 and 15 tons, with tolerances measured in fractions of inches. Picture the coordination required. Every block had to be quarried to exact specifications, transported across miles of desert terrain, lifted hundreds of feet into the air, then positioned with millimeter precision while supporting the enormous weight of stones above and below. The slightest miscalculation would have caused catastrophic collapse. The pyramid complex at Giza includes multiple structures, all aligned with the same impossible precision. The Great Sphinx faces due east to greet the rising sun at the spring equinox. The three main pyramids align perfectly with the stars in Orion's belt as they appeared in ancient skies. The entire complex forms a ground-based map of the heavens, as if someone wanted to recreate the cosmic order in permanent stone. Some researchers have discovered that the pyramid's dimensions encode advanced mathematical constants that weren't supposedly discovered until thousands of years later. The ratio of its height to its base perimeter equals pi divided by 2. The golden ratio appears throughout its measurements like a hidden signature. These mathematical relationships suggest knowledge that human science didn't formally recognize until the modern era. Then there's the internal structure that becomes more mysterious the deeper you explore. Hidden chambers connected by shafts that seem to serve no practical purpose for tomb construction. Air shafts that point to specific stars with astronomical precision. passages that require crawling through narrow spaces for hundreds of feet, all constructed with the same impossible accuracy as the exterior. The ascending passage to the king's chamber includes the Great Gallery, a towering corridor 47 feet high, with corbelled walls that create perfect acoustic resonance. Why build such an elaborate space if it's simply a hallway to a burial chamber? The sophistication seems unnecessary, unless the pyramids served purposes we don't understand. The ancient Egyptians supposedly accomplished all this with copper tools, wooden ramps, and human muscle power. They had no pulleys, no wheels for heavy transportation, no iron implements. Their most advanced tool was allegedly a copper chisel that would need constant resharpening against hard limestone. Yet they created something that modern engineers admit would challenge them today. Archaeological evidence suggests the Great Pyramid was built in approximately 20 years. That timeline means workers had to quarry, transport, and position one massive block every 2 minutes, working continuously around the clock for 2 decades. The logistics seem impossible, even with modern construction methods and unlimited budgets. Some blocks weigh up to 80 tons and were somehow lifted hundreds of feet into the air with perfect precision. Moving such weights today requires massive cranes and careful engineering. Yet no evidence exists of the enormous ramps or complex machinery that such construction would require. The infrastructure needed would have been almost as impressive as the pyramid itself. The precision extends to details that serve no apparent functional purpose. Why cut blocks so perfectly if they'll be covered by other stones and never seen again? Why achieve such accuracy in internal chambers that no living person would ever visit? The level of care suggests purposes beyond simple tomb construction. Modern attempts to understand the construction process have failed to provide convincing explanations. Computer models of proposed building methods reveal insurmountable problems with workforce requirements, material transportation, and structural engineering. Every proposed solution creates new impossibilities. The pyramid's base covers 13 acres and required leveling to within fractions of an inch across the entire area. This precision would be challenging with modern laser surveying equipment. Ancient builders achieved it with tools we can barely imagine being adequate for such precise work. The 4 triangular faces rise at exactly the same angle, meeting at a point hundreds of feet above the base with mathematical perfection. Any deviation would be immediately visible and structurally problematic. Yet the ancient builders achieved this precision while working with millions of individual stones. The Great Pyramid stands as testimony to capabilities that exceed our current understanding of ancient civilizations. Its precision challenges everything we've been taught about primitive construction methods and limited ancient knowledge. Either our ancestors possessed technologies and understanding we've completely underestimated, or they had assistance from sources that mainstream archaeology refuses to consider. The monument continues defying explanation after centuries of study. Each new investigation reveals additional complexities, while raising more questions about how such perfection was achieved. The Great Pyramid remains humanity's greatest architectural mystery, challenging our assumptions about the past and the limits of human capability. Walk through any Egyptian museum and examine the tools allegedly used to build the pyramids. Copper chisels, worn smooth by use. Stone hammers with handles long since rotted away. Wooden levers cracked by age. Rope made from plant fibers that crumbles at your touch. These are the implements that mainstream archaeology claims were sufficient to create humanity's greatest architectural achievement. But here's the problem that archaeologists quietly ignore. Copper is soft, softer than the limestone and granite used in pyramid construction. Try cutting granite with a copper knife, and you'll understand the impossibility immediately. The copper edge would dull within minutes, requiring constant resharpening and replacement. Egyptologists estimate that each copper chisel could cut only a few inches of stone before becoming completely unusable. The Great Pyramid contains over 2 million stone blocks. Simple mathematics reveals the impossibility lurking beneath conventional explanations. The ancient Egyptians would have needed millions of copper tools, far exceeding their entire civilization's metalworking capacity. Modern stonemasons using steel tools and power equipment struggle to achieve the precision found throughout pyramid construction. Steel is exponentially harder than copper, yet even our advanced implements leave rough surfaces and uneven cuts when working with hard stone. Ancient copper tools should have produced crude, irregular blocks, unsuitable for precise construction. Instead, we find blocks cut with machine-like accuracy that seems to mock our understanding of ancient capabilities. Surfaces so smooth they appear polished, edges so straight they could serve as rulers, corners cut to perfect 90-degree angles, with tolerances measured in fractions of millimeters. Some pyramid blocks show evidence of sawing rather than chipping or pounding. Clean, straight cuts that suggest powered machinery, moving blades at consistent speeds under steady pressure. The saw marks remain visible today, parallel lines that indicate uniform cutting motion, impossible to achieve with hand tools. Christopher Dunn, a machinist with decades of experience working precision equipment, has analyzed Egyptian stonework and reached disturbing conclusions. The evidence suggests tooling that exceeds ancient capabilities by thousands of years. Core samples show spiral ridges typical of modern power drills. Surface finishes match those produced by precision grinding equipment. Granite presents an even greater challenge than limestone. This extremely hard stone contains quartz crystals that quickly destroy conventional cutting tools. Modern diamond-tipped saws struggle with granite, yet ancient builders somehow shaped massive granite blocks into precise rectangular forms, with smooth surfaces and intricate details. The king's chamber contains granite blocks weighing up to 70 tons, cut and fitted with incredible precision. The ceiling consists of 9 granite slabs, each weighing approximately 50 tons, positioned with mathematical accuracy that would challenge modern construction crews. How were such massive stones shaped, moved, and placed so perfectly? Some researchers point to anomalous evidence found throughout Egypt that doesn't match conventional tool explanations. Stone blocks with what appear to be machine marks left by equipment that supposedly didn't exist. Surfaces that seem melted rather than cut, as if intense heat softened the stone during shaping. The Serapeum of Saqqara contains enormous granite boxes carved from single blocks of stone. These sarcophagi demonstrate precision that defies explanation using ancient tools. Internal corners form perfect right angles. Surfaces are ground to mirror smoothness. The tooling required for such work exceeds ancient capabilities by millennia. Archaeological sites throughout Egypt contain evidence of advanced stone-cutting techniques that challenge every assumption about ancient technology. Drill holes that penetrate granite at rates modern equipment struggles to match. Saw cuts through the hardest stone that show no signs of tool wear or deviation. Then there's the speed of construction that makes the tool problem even more impossible. 20 years to build the Great Pyramid means finishing one block every 2 minutes, continuously, for 2 decades. Even with unlimited copper tools and endless replacement chisels, such speed would require cutting and shaping capabilities that exceed ancient metalworking by orders of magnitude. Modern attempts to recreate pyramid construction using supposedly ancient tools have failed spectacularly. Experimental archaeologists can't even quarry blocks at the required rate, let alone transport and position them with pyramid-level precision. The tools simply aren't adequate for the task. Some pyramid blocks show evidence of techniques that seem impossible with any known ancient process. Rock that appears to have been shaped while in a plastic state, then hardened to its current form. Surfaces that look melted and reformed rather than carved or cut. No known ancient technology could achieve such effects with limestone or granite. The absence of evidence becomes evidence itself when you look for the tools that pyramid construction would have required. Where are the massive ramps that would be necessary to move 80-ton blocks hundreds of feet into the air? Where are the wear patterns on the pyramid site that decades of intensive construction would have created? Where are the millions of broken copper tools that such construction would have generated? Where are the waste piles of stone chips and debris from cutting millions of blocks? The archaeological record should be filled with evidence of the greatest construction project in human history. Yet these traces are mysteriously absent. Alternative theories suggest technologies that have been lost to history or were never developed by human civilizations at all. Some researchers propose that ancient builders possessed knowledge of sound levitation, using acoustic techniques to make massive stones weightless during transportation and positioning. Others point to similarities between pyramid construction and other megalithic sites worldwide. Pumapunku in Bolivia shows evidence of precision cutting that matches Egyptian techniques. Sacsayhuaman in Peru contains blocks fitted with tolerances that rival modern machining. The trilithons of Baalbek demonstrate stone-moving capabilities that exceed current technology. The tools required for pyramid construction would have represented revolutionary advances in human technology, yet they appear nowhere in the archaeological record. No prototypes, no developmental phases, no evidence of the trial and error that accompanies genuine technological innovation. The capabilities seem to have appeared suddenly, been used for pyramid construction, then vanished without trace. The precision cutting, massive stone transportation, and perfect fitting found in pyramid construction suggests access to technologies far beyond what conventional history attributes to ancient civilizations. Whether these capabilities came from advanced human knowledge, contact with extraterrestrial intelligence, or methods we can't currently imagine, the evidence points toward possibilities that challenge fundamental assumptions about our ancestors and their capabilities. The missing technology represents one of archaeology's greatest unsolved mysteries, pointing toward ancient capabilities that we struggle to comprehend even today. The ancient astronaut theory suggests a radical alternative that makes the impossible suddenly possible. What if the precision engineering, the missing technology, and the unexplained capabilities all point to one stunning conclusion? What if humanity had help from advanced beings who possess technology far beyond anything our ancestors could have developed independently? Erich von Däniken popularized this revolutionary idea in his groundbreaking book, Chariots of the Gods, published in 1968. He argued that many ancient mysteries become perfectly explainable when we consider the possibility of extraterrestrial visitation during Earth's distant past. The pyramids represent just one example of ancient achievements that seem to require technological capabilities beyond their historical context. Ancient Egyptian texts contain descriptions that take on new meaning when viewed through this lens. The pyramid texts, some of humanity's oldest religious writings, speak of pharaohs ascending to join the gods among the stars. The Book of the Dead describes elaborate journeys through cosmic realms filled with advanced beings and fantastic technologies. Could these be cultural memories of actual contact with visitors from other worlds? Hieroglyphics throughout Egypt depict figures and objects that don't match conventional archaeological interpretations. Beings with elongated heads that could be helmets or breathing apparatus. Flying objects that resemble modern aircraft more than mythological symbols. Scenes that might represent technological demonstrations rather than purely religious ceremonies. The god Thoth, credited with bringing knowledge and writing to humanity, is consistently depicted with features that some researchers interpret as technological rather than animal. The ibis head could represent a sophisticated helmet or breathing device. The staff he carries might be advanced instrumentation rather than a simple ceremonial object. Ra, the supreme sun god, travels across the sky in what ancient texts call a solar bark. Traditional interpretations see this as mythological symbolism, but ancient astronaut theorists suggest it could be cultural memory of advanced spacecraft that appeared to move across the heavens like traveling suns. Pharaoh Akhenaten presents one of the most intriguing cases supporting extraterrestrial contact theories. His artistic depictions show dramatically elongated skull, unusual body proportions, and facial features that don't match typical human anatomy. Some researchers suggest these characteristics indicate either hybrid genetics or direct contact with non-human intelligence. Akhenaten's religious revolution, replacing Egypt's traditional pantheon with worship of a single solar deity, occurred suddenly and without precedent in Egyptian culture. His new capital city, Amarna, was built with technologies and architectural principles that appeared nowhere else in ancient Egypt. The innovations vanished as quickly as they had appeared after his death. The precision of pyramid construction becomes readily explainable if we consider access to advanced surveying equipment, sophisticated cutting tools, and levitation technology. What seems impossible with copper chisels and wooden ramps becomes routine with equipment that might be centuries or millennia ahead of ancient human capabilities. The mathematical relationships encoded in pyramid dimensions suggest knowledge of cosmic constants and advanced physics that wouldn't be discovered by human mathematicians for thousands of years. The golden ratio, pi, and other fundamental principles appear throughout the structure, as if the builders possessed comprehensive understanding of universal mathematical relationships. The astronomical alignments of pyramid complexes demonstrate knowledge of celestial mechanics, far beyond what conventional archaeology attributes to ancient civilizations. The Orion correlation, the precise north-south orientation, and the complex relationships between earthbound monuments and stellar positions suggest access to advanced astronomical instruments and cosmic knowledge. Proponents argue that the sudden appearance of pyramid-building technology supports the intervention theory convincingly. Earlier Egyptian tombs were simple mud brick structures called mastabas. Then, seemingly overnight during the Third Dynasty around 2700 BC, builders began creating architectural marvels that we can barely comprehend today. The technological leap from mastaba to pyramid represents one of the most dramatic advances in human history. Yet it occurred without the gradual development that characterizes normal technological evolution. The capabilities appeared fully formed or used for pyramid construction, then gradually declined as contact with advanced teachers presumably ended. The global distribution of megalithic construction techniques adds significant weight to the ancient astronaut hypothesis. Similar precision cutting, massive stone transportation, and astronomical alignments appear on every continent during roughly the same historical period. Could these represent the work of the same advanced beings visiting different human civilizations? Sumerian texts, which predate Egyptian civilization, describe the Anunnaki as beings who came from the sky to influence human development. These accounts contain remarkably similar themes of advanced beings sharing technology and knowledge with primitive human populations. The consistency across different cultures suggests either shared cultural memory or common source of contact. Modern UFO reports often describe craft with capabilities that mirror exactly what would be required for pyramid construction. Silent movement that defies known propulsion principles. Apparent anti-gravity effects that allow massive objects to float effortlessly. Manipulation of physical matter without visible machinery or obvious energy sources. The theory suggests that extraterrestrial visitors didn't build the pyramids themselves but provided guidance, advanced tools, and technological assistance to human builders. This explains why pyramid construction shows both human characteristics in planning and organization, while demonstrating impossible precision in execution. Critics argue that the ancient astronaut theory diminishes human achievement and relies on assumptions rather than concrete archaeological evidence. However, supporters counter that conventional explanations also rely heavily on assumptions about ancient capabilities that the physical evidence simply doesn't support. The theory gains credibility from modern space exploration and our expanding understanding of cosmic possibilities. If humans can travel to other worlds with relatively primitive rocket technology, why couldn't advanced civilizations visit Earth in the distant past? The universe contains billions of potentially habitable planets and civilizations that could be millions of years ahead of us technologically. Some researchers point to striking similarities between ancient accounts of divine visitation and modern contact experiences reported worldwide. Descriptions of bright lights descending from the sky, flying objects that move in ways that defy known physics, beings with advanced knowledge who communicate telepathically and demonstrate technologies beyond human understanding. The ancient astronaut theory doesn't necessarily deny human intelligence or diminish our ancestors' capabilities. Instead, it suggests that humanity received crucial assistance at key moments in development. The pyramids might represent collaboration between human ingenuity and extraterrestrial mentorship, combining human determination with advanced technological guidance. Whether these visitors came from other star systems, parallel dimensions, or different time periods remains open to speculation. The crucial point is that conventional explanations fail to account for the full scope of ancient achievements, while extraterrestrial assistance provides a framework that makes the impossible suddenly logical. The theory continues evolving, as new archaeological discoveries challenge traditional timelines and reveal evidence of advanced prehistoric technologies. The growing body of anomalous evidence supports the possibility that human history is far more complex and extraordinary than mainstream academia has been willing to acknowledge. Look up at the winter night sky and find the three bright stars of Orion's belt. Now imagine standing at Giza and looking down at the three pyramids rising from the desert floor. The correlation is unmistakable and undeniable. The Great Pyramid corresponds to Al-Nitaq, the brightest star. The Pyramid of Khafre aligns with Al-Nalam in the center. The smaller Pyramid of Menkaure matches Mintaka, the dimmest of the three. Even their relative sizes mirror the brightness of their stellar counterparts. This isn't coincidence or accident. The ancient Egyptians deliberately created a ground-based map of heaven, positioning their most sacred monuments to reflect the cosmic order above. But why undertake such an enormous project? And how did they achieve such precise astronomical knowledge without telescopes, computers, or modern instruments? Robert Bauval first proposed the Orion correlation theory in the early 1990s, after years of studying pyramid alignments and ancient star charts. His research revealed something that shocked the archaeological world. The pyramid layout doesn't just match Orion as it appears in modern skies, but as the constellation appeared around 10,500 BC, at the end of the last ice age. This revelation suggests either incredible astronomical sophistication, spanning millennia, or access to ancient star maps created by an earlier advanced civilization. The precision required to plan monuments based on star positions from thousands of years before construction indicates knowledge that challenges everything we understand about ancient capabilities. The ancient Egyptians called Orion Sahu and associated it with Osiris, god of the dead and ruler of the afterlife. According to Egyptian mythology, deceased pharaohs traveled through the underworld to join Osiris among the stars. The pyramid complex at Giza was designed as a cosmic launching pad, allowing royal souls to navigate the celestial realm and achieve immortal status. But creating such an elaborate star map on the ground required understanding of astronomical cycles that spans thousands of years. The builders had to know not just where Orion appeared in their own era, but how the constellation had moved across ancient skies due to the Earth's slow wobble called precession. The precision goes far beyond simple visual alignment. The southern shaft of the Great Pyramid points directly toward Orion's belt, at the constellation's highest point in the sky, which occurs only once each night. The ancient builders somehow calculated this precise angle and incorporated it into their construction plans with mathematical accuracy. The northern shaft points toward the pole star as it appeared in ancient times. Due to Earth's precession, different stars serve as celestial north markers throughout history. During pyramid construction, the pole star was Alpha Draconis. The pyramid builders somehow knew exactly which star would mark true north during their specific historical period. Other pyramid complexes throughout Egypt show similar astronomical precision. The pyramids at Abusir correspond to fainter stars in the Orion constellation. The Dahshur pyramids align with other significant stellar groups. The entire Nile Valley becomes a vast astronomical observatory when viewed from this cosmic perspective. The knowledge required for such alignments challenges fundamental assumptions about ancient scientific understanding. Tracking star movements across decades or centuries requires sophisticated observations, careful record-keeping, and mathematical calculations that supposedly exceeded ancient capabilities by thousands of years. Computer simulations reveal that the Orion correlation was even more precise in ancient times than it appears today. Around 10,500 BC, the pyramid layout matched the constellation's position with stunning accuracy. This date corresponds exactly with the end of the last ice age and the theoretical beginning of advanced human civilization. The implications are staggering and controversial. If the pyramid alignment reflects star positions from 10,500 BC, it suggests either that the monuments are much older than commonly believed, or that their builders possessed incredibly ancient astronomical records passed down through millennia. The layout extends beyond the three main pyramids to encompass the entire Giza complex. Smaller pyramids, the Great Sphinx, and various temples all contribute to the comprehensive star map. The nearby Nile River represents the Milky Way, the celestial river that souls traveled to reach the afterlife according to Egyptian beliefs. The pyramid texts, carved inside later pyramids, contain detailed instructions for the deceased pharaoh's journey to Orion. These aren't poetic metaphors, but precise navigational directions for traveling through cosmic realms. The texts suggest intimate knowledge of celestial geography and the practical mechanics of stellar navigation. The Orion connection appears in cultures worldwide, suggesting either independent development of similar astronomical knowledge or shared contact with the same celestial wisdom. The Hopi people of North America speak of their ancestors coming from Orion. Ancient Mayan texts reference the constellation as a place of creation and cosmic rebirth. Australian Aboriginal traditions describe Orion as the eternal hunting ground of ancestral spirits. This global recognition of Orion's significance indicates that ancient peoples possessed sophisticated understanding of the constellation's importance that modern astronomy is only beginning to appreciate. Recent discoveries show that Orion contains some of the most active star-forming regions in our local galactic neighborhood. The precision of the Orion correlation demonstrates mathematical and engineering capabilities that seem impossible, using conventional explanations of ancient technology. Aligning massive stone monuments with specific star positions requires surveying techniques, long-term planning, and construction capabilities that exceed what historians attribute to Bronze Age civilizations. The correlation theory suggests that the pyramids were never intended solely as tombs, but as functional astronomical instruments. They serve as a kind of cosmic computer, encoding star positions and celestial cycles in permanent stone. This information could theoretically be used for navigation, calendar calculations, or communication across vast distances. Modern astronomy has revealed that Orion is indeed a special region of space, containing stellar nurseries where new stars and planetary systems are constantly being born. The ancient Egyptians somehow knew to focus their attention on this cosmically significant constellation thousands of years before modern science discovered its importance. The Orion connection transforms the pyramids from simple burial monuments into sophisticated astronomical devices that encode cosmic knowledge in stone. Whether this knowledge came from careful observation over millennia, inheritance from earlier civilizations, or contact with advanced intelligences, the correlation demonstrates that our ancestors possessed understanding of the universe that we're still trying to comprehend. The story of pyramid research isn't just about ancient mysteries hidden in stone. It's about modern suppression of evidence that threatens established narratives and institutional authority. For decades, researchers who dared question conventional explanations have faced systematic ridicule, funding cuts, and professional exile from academic institutions that claim to value truth above all else. The pattern begins with access restrictions that effectively control what can be discovered and reported. The Egyptian government tightly regulates who can study the pyramids and severely limits what they're permitted to investigate. Independent researchers often find their permit applications mysteriously denied, or their access restricted to superficial examinations that can't yield meaningful results. Dr. Mark Lehner, one of the most prominent pyramid researchers of the past 40 years, has maintained close relationships with Egyptian authorities throughout his career. His conventional explanations for pyramid construction receive widespread institutional support and generous funding. Meanwhile, researchers who propose alternative theories often find themselves completely locked out of the sites they need to study. This creates a self-reinforcing system where only approved researchers can access the evidence, and only approved conclusions receive academic recognition. Alternative theories remain marginalized, not because they lack merit, but because their proponents can't obtain the access necessary to gather supporting evidence. The Sphinx enclosure presents a particularly controversial example of academic suppression. Dr. Robert Schoch, a respected geologist from Boston University, applied rigorous scientific methods to analyze erosion patterns on the Sphinx and its surrounding enclosure. His geological evidence strongly suggests the monument is thousands of years older than conventional dating allows. The implications are enormous and threatening to established chronologies. If the Sphinx predates known Egyptian civilization, it challenges fundamental assumptions about human development and technological capability. Instead of encouraging further research to resolve this crucial question, academic institutions have largely ignored or actively dismissed Schoch's findings. The same pattern appears at potentially revolutionary sites worldwide. The Bosnian Pyramid Complex, investigated by Dr. Semir Osmanagic, shows evidence of massive pyramidal structures beneath natural-looking hills near Sarajevo. Carbon dating suggests these monuments could be over 12,000 years old, predating known civilization by millennia. Rather than international cooperation to investigate these potentially groundbreaking discoveries, the European archaeological establishment launched systematic campaigns to discredit Osmanagic and prevent funding for continued research. The Bosnia project faces constant ridicule and bureaucratic obstacles that prevent proper scientific investigation. Similar suppression occurs at other sites that challenge conventional timelines and capabilities. Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, now acknowledged as the world's oldest known temple complex, was actually discovered decades before serious excavation began. The site's implications for human development were apparently too threatening to establish theories to warrant immediate investigation. The Smithsonian Institution has faced persistent allegations of destroying or concealing archaeological evidence that doesn't conform to accepted historical narratives. The Forbidden Archaeology research documented by Michael Cremo and Richard Thompson presents hundreds of cases where anomalous findings have disappeared into storage or been dismissed without proper scientific evaluation. Academic peer review, supposedly designed to ensure research quality, often functions as a censorship mechanism that suppresses alternative theories, regardless of their scientific merit. Papers that challenge conventional explanations face rejection, not because of methodological flaws, but because their conclusions are deemed too radical for publication in established journals. Researchers who persist in investigating alternative theories often find their careers systematically destroyed through institutional pressure. Dr. Thomas E. Lee, who discovered evidence of advanced stone tools in Canada that predated accepted timelines, was fired from his government position and saw his findings buried in museum storage. The Shegyanda site he investigated could have rewritten North American prehistory, but institutional resistance prevented proper research. The suppression isn't always the result of deliberate conspiracy. Sometimes it emerges from institutional inertia and the natural resistance of established paradigms to fundamental change. Academic careers are built on existing theories, and challenging those foundations threatens not just individual reputations but entire departments, universities, and funding streams. Government agencies become involved when archaeological discoveries carry political implications that could disrupt national narratives or economic interests. Evidence of advanced ancient civilizations might challenge modern assumptions about cultural development and technological progress, threatening established power structures and belief systems. The Egyptian government, for example, depends heavily on tourism revenue generated by conventional pyramid narratives. Alternative theories suggesting much greater antiquity or extraterrestrial involvement could complicate the simple stories that attract millions of visitors annually. Economic pressures sometimes override scientific curiosity when potential discoveries threaten profitable industries. Military installations often coincide with major archaeological sites in ways that raise uncomfortable questions. The Giza Plateau itself contains restricted military zones near the pyramids. Some researchers suggest that these restrictions conceal ongoing investigations or discoveries that haven't been made public for security reasons. The rise of alternative media has created new platforms for suppressed research, but it has also made it easier for establishment institutions to dismiss unconventional theories as fringe pseudoscience. Mainstream media outlets rarely cover alternative archaeological theories seriously, preferring to focus on established narratives that don't challenge their audience's preconceptions. Social media algorithms and search engine results can be manipulated to amplify or suppress information based on corporate policies and government pressure. Videos and articles about alternative pyramid theories often face fact-checking labels or reduced distribution that limits their reach to genuinely interested audiences. Academic funding increasingly comes from sources with vested interests in maintaining established narratives about human history and development. Corporate sponsors, government grants, and institutional donors rarely support research that could fundamentally challenge existing theories about ancient capabilities and human progress. The peer review process has become increasingly conservative, with reviewers routinely rejecting papers that propose radical alternatives to established theories. Young researchers quickly learn that pursuing controversial topics will severely limit their career prospects, creating a self-reinforcing system that discourages innovation and independent thinking. International cooperation in archaeology often involves informal agreements to suppress findings that could be politically or culturally disruptive to established national convents, identities. The discovery of advanced ancient technologies or evidence of prehistoric global civilizations could challenge modern assumptions about progress and development. The suppression extends to public education, where textbooks and curricula present oversimplified narratives about ancient civilizations while ignoring contradictory evidence and ongoing debates. Students never learn about the genuine mysteries and unsolved problems that make archaeology fascinating, instead receiving sanitized versions that support institutional orthodoxy. Despite these systematic obstacles, independent researchers continue investigating alternative theories about pyramid construction and ancient civilizations. The internet has made it possible to share findings and collaborate across institutional boundaries, making total suppression increasingly difficult. The question remains, what are established institutions so determined to hide? If conventional explanations for ancient achievements are adequate, why the coordinated resistance to alternative research? The pattern of suppression itself suggests that there's far more to human history than we've been permitted to discover. Deep within the Great Pyramid lie secrets that have remained hidden for over 4,000 years, waiting in darkness for technology advanced enough to reveal their existence without disturbing the monument's ancient structure. Recent discoveries using cutting-edge scanning techniques have revealed previously unknown chambers and passages that raise profound questions about the pyramid's true purpose and the advanced knowledge of its mysterious builders. In 2017, an international team of researchers using cosmic ray imaging made an announcement that shook the archaeological world. They had discovered a massive void above the Great Gallery, a hidden space roughly the size of a passenger aircraft that had remained completely undetected by centuries of exploration and investigation. The discovery came through muon tomography, a revolutionary technique that detects high-energy particles created when cosmic rays strike Earth's atmosphere. By measuring how these particles pass through different materials, researchers can identify hollow spaces within solid stone without drilling holes or causing any damage to ancient structures. The void above the Great Gallery presents one of pyramid archaeology's greatest mysteries. Its enormous size and strategic location suggest it might have been a crucial component of the pyramid's original design, rather than an accidental gap left by ancient builders. Some researchers propose it could be a weight-relieving chamber, while others suggest far more exotic possibilities. The North Face corridor, discovered through the same scanning project, extends at least 30 feet into the pyramid structure from near the original entrance. This passage had remained completely hidden behind the pyramid's facing stones for millennia, sealed away from human knowledge, until modern technology revealed its existence. Initial robotic exploration of the corridor revealed carefully constructed walls and precisely engineered passages that serve no apparent function in conventional tomb architecture. The craftsmanship matches the impossible precision found throughout the pyramid, suggesting it was an integral part of the original design rather than a later modification. The pyramid's internal shaft system continues defying conventional explanation despite decades of study. 4 narrow passages, traditionally called air shafts, extend from the king's and queen's chambers toward the pyramid's exterior walls. But several of these shafts don't actually reach outside air, raising fundamental questions about their true purpose. Robotic exploration of these enigmatic shafts has revealed additional mysteries that challenge every assumption about pyramid construction and function. Stone doors with copper handles block access to spaces that remain unexplored. Metal objects of unknown composition have been discovered embedded in shaft walls, The passages themselves show evidence of precision engineering that seems impossible with ancient tools. The Queen's Chamber contains shafts that were deliberately sealed with stone blocks during the pyramid's construction. This suggests the builders wanted to permanently conceal whatever lay beyond these passages. When researchers finally penetrated the ancient seals using robotic cameras, they found additional doors and passages extending deeper into the pyramid's hidden interior. The King's Chamber, traditionally considered the pharaoh's burial room, shows no evidence of ever containing an actual sarcophagus or burial equipment. The granite box found there is too large to have been brought through the existing passages, indicating it was installed during construction as an integral component, rather than a later addition. The ascending passage to the King's Chamber includes the Great Gallery, a towering corridor with architectural sophistication that seems completely unnecessary for simple tomb access. The gallery's walls contain mysterious slots and grooves that could have held machinery or mechanical devices that have since been removed or never discovered. Acoustic testing reveals that pyramid chambers have unusual sound properties that seem deliberately engineered rather than accidentally created. The King's Chamber resonates at specific frequencies that could have been used for acoustic experiments or sound-based technologies that we don't fully understand. The subterranean chamber, carved directly into bedrock beneath the pyramid's base, contains features that defy logical explanation using conventional tomb theories. Passages lead nowhere. Chambers exist within chambers. A deep shaft extends into the earth for purposes that remain completely mysterious. Ground-penetrating radar has detected additional anomalies beneath and around the entire pyramid complex that could indicate vast networks of hidden structures. The Giza Plateau might contain far more chambers and passages than surface examination reveals, but Egyptian authorities have severely limited such investigations. The Great Sphinx presents its own collection of hidden mysteries. Seismic surveys have detected multiple voids beneath the monument and in the chamber between its massive paws. Ancient texts speak of a hall of records containing advanced knowledge from prehistoric civilizations, which might exist in these concealed spaces. Some researchers propose that the hidden chambers contain evidence of advanced ancient technologies or records of human contact with non-human intelligence. The systematic sealing of spaces during construction suggests the builders wanted to preserve something critically important for future discovery by civilizations advanced enough to find them. Modern exploration faces significant political and practical obstacles. Egyptian authorities restrict access to many areas of the pyramid complex, officially citing conservation concerns. However, some researchers suggest these restrictions are designed to prevent discoveries that could fundamentally challenge established historical narratives and institutional authority. The use of non-invasive robotic exploration has revealed construction techniques that appear impossible, using tools available to ancient Egyptian civilization. Passages carved through solid stone with precision that rivals modern machinery. Chambers positioned with mathematical accuracy that suggests advanced surveying capabilities far beyond conventional ancient methods. Chemical analysis of materials found in hidden passages has revealed anomalous compositions that don't match known ancient Egyptian substances. Organic residues that might indicate advanced chemical processes. Metal fragments with unusual properties that suggest sophisticated metallurgy or unknown alloys. The discovery of hidden chambers raises fundamental questions that challenge the pyramid's conventional interpretation as a simple royal tomb. If these spaces were designed to remain secret indefinitely, what were they intended to contain? Why invest such enormous effort in concealing chambers if the pyramid served only burial purposes? Some passages appear to have been deliberately filled with debris after construction, suggesting systematic concealment of the pyramid's true internal structure. This material isn't random rubble, but carefully placed fill, designed to block access without destroying the passages themselves. Future exploration will require advanced technology and unprecedented international cooperation to overcome both political obstacles and technical challenges. The secrets hidden within the Great Pyramid might revolutionize our understanding of ancient civilizations, human capabilities, and our planet's hidden history. The Great Sphinx of Giza crouches in eternal silence, its weathered face gazing eastward toward the rising sun, as it has for millennia uncounted. Carved from a single massive piece of limestone bedrock, this enigmatic monument combines human intelligence with leonine strength, creating a symbol that has captivated and mystified humanity since the dawn of recorded history. For generations, archaeologists confidently claimed the Sphinx was built around 2500 BC by Pharaoh Khafre as part of his pyramid complex. This dating placed the monument squarely within known Egyptian civilization, making it a product of familiar historical processes and understood construction capabilities. But mounting evidence suggests this comfortable timeline might be catastrophically wrong by thousands of years, pointing toward origins that predate not just Khafre's dynasty, but the entire span of recognized Egyptian civilization. The implications challenge everything we thought we knew about ancient history and human development. Dr. Robert Schoch, a respected geologist from Boston University, approached the Sphinx with scientific methods rather than archaeological assumptions. His analysis of weathering patterns carved into the limestone walls surrounding the monument reached a startling conclusion that sent shockwaves through the academic establishment. The deep, vertical erosion channels carved into the Sphinx enclosure walls were created by water, not the wind and sand erosion that conventional theory required. These weathering patterns indicated prolonged exposure to heavy rainfall over extended periods, not the arid conditions that have characterized Egypt for thousands of years. The geological evidence presents an insurmountable problem for conventional dating. Egypt hasn't experienced the sustained heavy rainfall necessary to create such dramatic water erosion since the end of the last ice age, roughly 7,000 to 10,000 years BC. If Schoch's analysis is correct, the Sphinx must be at least 4,000 to 7,000 years older than mainstream archaeology admits. A Sphinx, dating to 7,000 BC or earlier, would have been built by an unknown civilization possessing advanced stone carving capabilities during a period when conventional history places humanity in primitive hunter-gatherer societies. It would predate the earliest known Egyptian dynasties by thousands of years, suggesting sophisticated culture existed in the Nile Valley long before recorded history begins. The Sphinx's head presents another troubling mystery that supports theories of much greater antiquity and subsequent modification. The proportions seem fundamentally wrong for the massive body, as if the original head was much larger and was later recarved into the human face we see today. Careful measurement reveals that the head is significantly smaller than what the body's proportions would naturally suggest. The neck appears unnaturally stretched and elongated, as if substantial material was removed to create the current human features. This recarving theory would explain why the head seems to belong to an entirely different artistic tradition than the body. If the modification theory is accurate, what did the original Sphinx actually look like? Some researchers propose it was originally a complete lion with a head proportional to its powerful body. The recarving might have occurred thousands of years after the original construction, when later civilizations adapted the ancient monument for their own religious and political purposes. The archaeological record provides surprisingly few references to the Sphinx in ancient Egyptian texts, which is highly unusual for such a prominent and supposedly important monument. The earliest known inscription specifically about the Sphinx dates to the New Kingdom, more than 1,000 years after its supposed construction during Khafre's reign. The famous dream stele, erected by Thutmose IV between the Sphinx's front paws, tells of the young prince's prophetic dream in which the monument spoke directly to him. Most significantly, the Sphinx claimed to be ancient even in Thutmose's time, declaring, "I have been here since the first time," suggesting origins stretching back to the very beginning of Egyptian civilization or beyond. The Sphinx temple, constructed directly in front of the monument using massive limestone blocks, presents its own technological mysteries. Some of these blocks weigh over 200 tons each, requiring moving and positioning capabilities that supposedly didn't exist in ancient times. Even according to the most generous estimates of ancient Egyptian engineering, the temple's architecture doesn't match typical Egyptian building styles found elsewhere in the civilization. Its massive, minimalist design resembles megalithic construction techniques found at mysterious sites worldwide, rather than the decorated, column temples characteristic of later Egyptian periods. This architectural anomaly supports theories of much greater antiquity. Some researchers propose that the Sphinx was built by the same unknown advanced civilization responsible for megalithic monuments found on every continent. The precision stone cutting, massive block transportation, and sophisticated astronomical alignments found at the Sphinx complex appear at mysterious sites from England to Peru, suggesting possible global connections. The legendary Hall of Records theory suggests that the Sphinx guards secret chambers containing advanced knowledge preserved from a prehistoric golden age of human development. Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet, claimed that records of the lost civilization of Atlantis were hidden beneath the Sphinx, waiting for humanity to reach sufficient spiritual development to access them. While such claims might sound like fantasy, ground-penetrating radar and seismic surveys have detected multiple anomalous voids beneath the Sphinx and in the surrounding area. Egyptian authorities have consistently prevented excavation of these spaces, officially citing conservation concerns but possibly concealing far more significant reasons. The Sphinx's precise astronomical alignments add another layer of evidence supporting theories of sophisticated ancient knowledge. The monument faces due east, perfectly greeting the sunrise at the spring equinox. Around 10,500 BC, when facing east at dawn during the spring equinox, the Sphinx would have been gazing directly at the constellation Leo rising on the horizon. This correlation between the lion-bodied monument and the celestial lion during the astrological age of Leo suggests the builders possessed a sophisticated understanding of astronomical cycles spanning thousands of years. Such knowledge would require careful observation and record-keeping across dozens of generations. The water erosion evidence, the astronomical correlations, and the architectural anomalies all converge on the same revolutionary conclusion. The Sphinx is far older than mainstream archaeology acknowledges. It might represent direct evidence of an advanced prehistoric civilization that possessed knowledge and capabilities we're only beginning to understand. The monument's strategic location on the Giza Plateau, positioned in precise alignment with the pyramid complex, suggests it was part of a larger astronomical observatory designed with mathematical precision. The entire site might have functioned as a sophisticated cosmic calculator, encoding astronomical cycles and earthly measurements in permanent stone. Perhaps the Sphinx served as both guardian and teacher, its enduring presence designed to preserve crucial knowledge for future civilizations advanced enough to decode its secrets. The monument's ability to survive while lesser structures crumbled suggests it was built not just to last, but to communicate across the vast spans of time. The Sphinx continues keeping its secrets well guarded. After millennia of study and speculation, this ancient guardian still poses questions that challenge our fundamental understanding of human history, ancient capabilities, and our species' true relationship with knowledge that seems to transcend the bounds of conventional chronology. Hidden within the Great Pyramids' dimensions lie mathematical relationships so precise and sophisticated that they challenge everything we understand about ancient knowledge and capabilities. These aren't approximate ratios or accidental correlations, but exact mathematical constants that supposedly weren't discovered by human civilization for thousands of years after the pyramid's construction. The most striking example involves pi, the fundamental mathematical constant that describes the relationship between any circle's circumference and its diameter. When you divide the Great Pyramid's base perimeter by twice its height, the result equals pi with remarkable accuracy. This relationship appears intentional rather than coincidental, suggesting the builders deliberately encoded this crucial mathematical constant in stone. Ancient Egyptians supposedly used only simple whole number ratios and basic geometric principles in their architectural projects. They lacked decimal notation, advanced mathematical systems, and sophisticated computational methods. Yet the pyramid's dimensions require precise calculations involving irrational numbers that can't be expressed as simple fractions or achieved through trial and error construction methods. The golden ratio, another profound mathematical constant found throughout nature and classical architecture, appears repeatedly throughout the pyramid's proportions with stunning consistency. The slope angle of the pyramid's faces, the relationship between its height and base dimensions, and the positioning of internal chambers all reflect this mystical number that creates aesthetically pleasing and mathematically significant proportions. But the golden ratio wasn't formally described or understood by mathematicians until ancient Greek civilization, over 2,000 years after pyramid construction supposedly occurred. How could ancient Egyptian builders incorporate this advanced mathematical concept into their design without understanding its mathematical properties or having access to the computational methods necessary to calculate it? The pyramid's base measurement of 756 feet equals exactly 500 Egyptian royal cubits, creating a structure whose dimensions encode fundamental relationships between human proportions and cosmic measurements. The builders somehow understood that these specific measurements would yield mathematically significant results that connect earthly architecture with universal constants. The king's chamber dimensions create a perfect rectangle whose length and width express the golden ratio with mathematical precision. The chamber's height, length, and width form multiple mathematical relationships that suggest sophisticated understanding of geometric principles that conventional history claims weren't developed for millennia. Some researchers propose that the entire pyramid functions as a three-dimensional mathematical equation solved in permanent stone. Its dimensions, angles, and internal relationships express complex mathematical truths that we're only beginning to understand and appreciate. The structure might serve as an ancient textbook of advanced mathematics, preserving crucial knowledge in architectural form. The pyramid's height of 481 feet, when multiplied by the mysterious factor of 43,200, yields a number virtually identical to Earth's polar radius, measured in feet. This relationship suggests the ancient builders possessed precise knowledge of our planet's exact dimensions, with accuracy that wouldn't be achieved again until the Pradov satellite age. The base perimeter of 3,023 feet, when multiplied by the same enigmatic factor, produces a result that matches Earth's equatorial circumference with stunning precision. The pyramid somehow encodes our planet's vital statistics in its fundamental architecture, demonstrating geographical knowledge that challenges every assumption about ancient scientific capabilities. These relationships extend beyond terrestrial measurements to encompass cosmic distances and cycles that shouldn't have been accessible to ancient observers. The pyramid's dimensions encode the average distance from Earth to the Sun, the length of the solar year measured in days, and the vast 26,000-year cycle of precession that causes Earth's axis to wobble slowly through space. The precision required for encoding such relationships exceeds the measurement and computational capabilities that historians confidently attribute to ancient Egyptian civilization. Achieving this mathematical accuracy would require surveying techniques, astronomical observations, and mathematical calculations that supposedly didn't exist for thousands of years after pyramid construction. The speed of light, one of the fundamental constants governing physical reality, appears encoded in the pyramid's geographical location with precision that defies rational explanation. When the Great Pyramids' coordinates are expressed in decimal degrees, they match the numerical value of light speed measured in meters per second to several decimal places. This correlation seems far too precise and specific to be dismissed as mere coincidence, yet it implies the ancient builders possessed knowledge of physics that wasn't formally discovered until the 20th century. How could they have known the speed of light, let alone chosen to encode it in their monument's precise geographical positioning? The pyramid's internal angle of 26 degrees and 18 minutes creates geometric relationships that appear throughout the structure in ways that suggest deliberate mathematical planning. This specific angle produces mathematical harmonies and proportional relationships that indicate the builders understood advanced principles of geometry and trigonometry. The chamber system creates acoustic resonances at frequencies that match fundamental tones of Earth's electromagnetic field, suggesting the pyramid was designed as a harmonic instrument that resonates with planetary frequencies. This would require understanding of physics and acoustics that wasn't formally recognized until modern times. Computer analysis reveals that the pyramid's dimensions create mathematical relationships with dozens of cosmic constants, planetary measurements, and universal principles. The statistical probability of these correlations occurring by pure chance approaches mathematical impossibility, strongly suggesting intentional design based on comprehensive advanced knowledge. The precision extends to architectural details that seem insignificant at first glance. The thickness of casing stones, the angles of internal passages, and the positioning of chambers all contribute to the mathematical harmony of the overall structure. Every element serves multiple purposes in what appears to be a cosmic equation expressed in stone. Modern mathematicians and physicists express genuine amazement at the pyramid's encoded relationships and the sophistication of the mathematical concepts. The level of understanding demonstrated rivals work accomplished by 20th century scientists with access to advanced computational tools and centuries of accumulated mathematical knowledge. The mathematical impossibilities suggest that pyramid builders possessed unified theories, connecting geometry, astronomy, physics, and mathematics in ways that modern science is still developing. They understood deep connections between seemingly separate phenomena that we're only beginning to recognize and appreciate. The pyramid stands as a monument to mathematical precision and cosmic knowledge that we can measure and verify, but cannot adequately explain using conventional models of quos. Ancient capabilities. Its dimensions continue teaching us about fundamental relationships between mathematics, astronomy, and physics that its builders somehow comprehended millennia before modern science rediscovered them. Whether this knowledge came from careful observation, spanning thousands of years, inheritance from even earlier advanced civilizations, or contact with intelligences who already understood these cosmic principles, the mathematical evidence points toward ancient access to universal truths that transcend the conventional boundaries of historical chronology and human development. The pyramid mystery extends far beyond Egypt's desert sands to encompass every continent on Earth, revealing a global phenomenon that challenges fundamental assumptions about ancient civilizations and human development. Across vast oceans and seemingly insurmountable geographical barriers, separate cultures built pyramid structures with remarkably similar design principles, construction techniques, and astronomical alignments. The pyramids of Teotihuacan in Mexico rival those at Giza in both size and sophistication, demonstrating precision engineering and astronomical knowledge that mirrors Egyptian achievements. The massive Pyramid of the Sun, built around the same historical period as the Great Pyramid, shows identical attention to cardinal direction, alignment, and mathematical proportions. These Mesoamerican monuments share architectural features with Egyptian pyramids that seem impossible to explain through independent development. Precision stone cutting that achieves nearly seamless joints, massive block transportation across difficult terrain, internal chamber systems designed with mathematical accuracy. The similarities suggest either remarkable parallel evolution or shared knowledge from a common source. The recently discovered Bosnian pyramid complex contains some of the largest pyramidal structures ever identified anywhere on Earth. Carbon dating analysis suggests these European monuments predate Egyptian pyramids by thousands of years, fundamentally challenging assumptions about where and when pyramid building technology originated. If the Bosnian dating proves accurate, it indicates that advanced pyramid building civilizations existed in Europe during periods when conventional history places the continent in primitive Stone Age conditions. The structures demonstrate sophisticated engineering capabilities, including extensive underground tunnel networks and precise astronomical alignments. The White Pyramid of China, photographed by Allied military pilots during World War II, appears to dwarf even the Great Pyramid of Giza in terms of sheer scale and precision. Chinese authorities have severely restricted access to this monument, preventing detailed investigation of its construction methods, age, and internal structure. Indonesia's Gunung Padang Pyramid Complex presents perhaps the most revolutionary challenge to conventional chronology. Scientific dating suggests these megalithic structures could be over 20,000 years old, making them potentially the oldest pyramidal monuments on Earth, and predating recognized human civilization by millennia. The precision cutting and massive stone block techniques at Gunung Padang match methods found at pyramid sites worldwide, despite being separated by vast distances and supposedly independent cultural development. The consistency suggests shared technological knowledge or common origins that transcend conventional historical boundaries. Peru's numerous pyramid sites demonstrate construction capabilities that continue defying conventional explanation. The perfectly fitted polygonal blocks at Sacsayhuaman achieve Egyptian-level precision, despite being built by civilizations that had no known contact with Mediterranean cultures. The technical similarities span continents and millennia. The Nazca Plateau combines pyramid structures with the famous ground drawings in an integrated complex that suggests sophisticated planning and astronomical knowledge. The entire site demonstrates understanding of landscape-scale engineering that connects earthbound monuments with celestial phenomena through mathematical precision. Australia's Aboriginal oral traditions speak of pyramid structures built by ancestral beings in the distant past, during the dream time when the land was shaped by supernatural forces. Archaeological investigations have identified potential pyramid sites that could predate European arrival by tens of thousands of years. The global distribution of pyramid sites creates geographical patterns that some researchers interpret as evidence of coordinated planning by worldwide ancient civilization. The locations often correspond to significant latitude lines, geological features, or astronomical alignments that suggest systematic rather than random placement. Many pyramid sites appear along specific geometric relationships that span continents with mathematical precision that exceeds what isolated ancient civilizations should have been capable of achieving. The global alignments suggest either remarkable coincidence or evidence of advanced prehistoric cultures with worldwide reach and sophisticated geographical knowledge. Construction techniques show disturbing consistency across cultures that supposedly developed independently without any contact or communication. Precision stone cutting, astronomical orientation principles, and internal chamber design concepts appear on every continent, with similar levels of technological sophistication and mathematical understanding. The majority of global pyramid sites remain unexplored, under-investigated, or completely restricted from scientific examination due to political limitations, funding constraints, or academic skepticism. The true scope and significance of ancient pyramid construction might be far larger and more sophisticated than currently recognized or acknowledged. Advanced civilizations capable of pyramid construction appear to have existed worldwide during historical periods, when conventional timelines place humanity in primitive, developmental stages. This suggests either fundamental errors in accepted chronologies or systematic suppression of evidence that challenges established historical narratives. The global pyramid phenomenon strongly supports theories of advanced prehistoric civilizations with technological capabilities and worldwide communication networks. These cultures possessed mathematical, astronomical, and engineering knowledge that enabled sophisticated monument construction on every inhabited continent. Alternative theories propose that pyramid construction knowledge was disseminated by travelers who possessed advanced technologies and moved freely between continents that are now separated by vast oceans. This could explain the remarkable similarities in construction methods, mathematical relationships, and astronomical alignments. Ocean levels were dramatically different during Ice Age periods, potentially connecting land masses and enabling travel between continents that became isolated when sea levels rose at the end of the glacial period. Ancient civilizations might have possessed global reach that was lost when climate changes flooded land bridges and coastal settlements. The precision and sophistication of pyramid sites worldwide challenges fundamental assumptions about ancient technological capabilities and the supposed isolation of early civilizations. The consistency of advanced techniques across continents suggests access to common sources of knowledge, instruction, or technological assistance. The pyramid phenomenon might represent evidence of humanity's first global technological civilization, one that possessed advanced understanding of astronomy, mathematics, engineering, and construction techniques. The monuments they created demonstrate capabilities that we're only beginning to understand and appreciate fully. Climate catastrophes that marked the end of the last ice age could have destroyed most traces of these advanced civilizations, leaving only their most durable stone monuments as proof of their former existence and capabilities. Pyramids worldwide might represent surviving remnants of a lost golden age of human achievement. The global nature of pyramid construction suggests that sophisticated knowledge was far more widespread in ancient times than mainstream historians acknowledge or are willing to consider. These prehistoric civilizations possessed technologies and understanding that challenge every assumption about human development and the progression of knowledge through time. The worldwide pyramid mystery remains largely unsolved because investigating it properly requires unprecedented interdisciplinary cooperation between archaeologists, geologists, astronomers, mathematicians, and other specialists who rarely collaborate on such scales. The complete truth might demand entirely new approaches that transcend traditional academic boundaries and institutional limitations. Throughout history, archaeological discoveries have emerged that don't fit comfortably within established timelines or match the technological capabilities conventionally attributed to ancient civilizations. These anomalous artifacts and sites often disappear mysteriously into storage facilities, face systematic academic ridicule, or become classified by government authorities for unexplained reasons. The Baghdad Battery, discovered in 1936 near the Iraqi capital, consists of clay jars containing copper cylinders and iron rods that function as primitive electrical cells when filled with acidic solutions. These devices clearly predate the supposed invention of electrical technology by over 2,000 years, suggesting ancient civilizations possessed electrochemical knowledge that history claims they couldn't have developed. Mainstream archaeologists consistently dismiss these electrical devices as simple storage containers, despite their obvious electrical properties and the chemical residues found within them. However, similar battery-like objects have been discovered throughout ancient Mesopotamia, indicating that electrical knowledge might have been far more widespread in the ancient world than conventional history acknowledges. The Antikythera mechanism, recovered from a Greek shipwreck in the early 20th century, represents an intricate bronze device that functioned as an ancient astronomical computer. Its complex gear systems could predict celestial events, track planetary movements, and calculate eclipse dates with precision that rivals modern computational methods. For decades after its discovery, this sophisticated mechanism was dismissed as an anomaly or misunderstood artifact by archaeologists who couldn't accept that ancient Greeks possessed such advanced technological capabilities. Only modern X-ray analysis and computer modeling revealed the device's true complexity and revolutionary implications for our understanding of ancient scientific knowledge. The London hammer, discovered embedded in rock formations that appeared to be millions of years old, initially suggested human activity during periods when conventional chronology places our species in early evolutionary stages. While later analysis indicated the artifact was likely much younger, the incident demonstrates how quickly anomalous discoveries face attempts at conventional explanation rather than thorough scientific investigation. Similar out-of-place artifacts appear in museums and private collections worldwide, but receive minimal scientific attention or funding for proper analysis. Ancient batteries, sophisticated mechanical devices, and precision-cut stones gather dust in storage rooms, while researchers focus exclusively on conventional artifacts that support established historical theories. The perfectly spherical stone balls found throughout Costa Rica demonstrate precision manufacturing that challenges ancient technological capabilities. These granite spheres, some weighing several tons, were carved with geometric accuracy that modern equipment struggles to duplicate. Their purpose, construction methods, and the civilization that created them remain completely mysterious. The controversial Ica stones of Peru depict humans interacting with dinosaurs and operating advanced technological devices. While many dismiss these as modern hoaxes created for tourist markets, some specimens show evidence of genuine age and weathering that suggests much greater antiquity than skeptics acknowledge. Advanced ancient metalworking appears repeatedly in archaeological contexts, where it contradicts conventional timelines and technological development models. The Iron Pillar of Delhi, dating to approximately 400 AD, shows no signs of rust or corrosion, despite being exposed to harsh weather conditions for over 1,500 years. Its metallurgical composition and corrosion resistance exceed medieval capabilities. Precision drilling evidence appears at ancient sites worldwide in ways that challenge explanations based on available tools and techniques. The mysterious Dendera light bulbs, carved in Egyptian temple reliefs, appear to accurately depict electrical devices with remarkable similarity to modern vacuum tubes and electrical equipment. Crystal skulls recovered from Mesoamerican sites demonstrate machine tool precision that supposedly didn't exist in pre-Columbian civilizations. The smooth surfaces, precise optical properties, and flawless symmetry suggest manufacturing techniques that require advanced tools and sophisticated understanding of crystal structure and optics. The massive Nazca lines required surveying knowledge and mathematical planning capabilities that seem to exceed ancient Peruvian technological development. These enormous ground drawings maintain precise geometric relationships across miles of desert terrain and can only be properly appreciated from aerial perspectives that ancient peoples supposedly couldn't achieve. Megalithic construction sites worldwide contain stone blocks that exceed modern transportation and lifting capabilities. The trilithon stones of Baalbek weigh over 800 tons each, requiring moving and positioning capabilities that challenge current construction equipment and engineering methods. The systematic suppression of anomalous evidence often involves respected academic institutions and government agencies that officially promote scientific inquiry and historical truth. The Smithsonian Institution faces persistent allegations of destroying or concealing archaeological findings that don't conform to established chronologies and developmental models. Academic peer review systems frequently function as censorship mechanisms that prevent publication and dissemination of research, challenging established theoretical frameworks. Papers documenting anomalous artifacts or proposing alternative historical interpretations face rejection not because of methodological problems, but because their conclusions threaten institutional orthodoxy. Government classification of archaeological sites and discoveries prevents independent investigation of potentially revolutionary findings that could transform our understanding of human history and capabilities. Military restrictions around ancient monuments sometimes conceal reasons that extend beyond simple security considerations. The Vatican secret archives reportedly contain vast collections of historical documents and archaeological evidence that could challenge established religious and historical narratives. While some materials have been released to researchers, the majority remains classified indefinitely, raising questions about what knowledge is being deliberately concealed. Corporate interests sometimes influence archaeological interpretation and funding when established historical narratives support profitable industries built around conventional tourism and educational markets. Companies that benefit from traditional stories have financial incentives to suppress discoveries that could disrupt their business models. International agreements between governments occasionally restrict investigation of sites and artifacts that could challenge national cultural narratives or territorial claims. Political considerations can override scientific curiosity when discoveries threaten established historical identities or diplomatic relationships. The emergence of independent research networks and alternative media platforms has made complete suppression of anomalous findings increasingly difficult to maintain. Internet communication allows researchers to share discoveries and collaborate across institutional boundaries that previously prevented coordination and verification. Advanced dating techniques sometimes produce results that contradict established timelines, only to be dismissed or reinterpreted when they suggest greater antiquity for human technological capabilities. Scientific methods face criticism when their results don't conform to accepted chronological frameworks. The systematic pattern of evidence suppression suggests institutional resistance to paradigm shifts that could fundamentally alter established power structures, academic careers, and cultural belief systems. The complete truth about human technological history might be far more complex and revolutionary than current educational and institutional frameworks can accommodate. Future archaeological discoveries will likely continue challenging conventional explanations and revealing evidence of advanced ancient technologies that don't fit established developmental models. The accumulating body of anomalous evidence suggests that human history includes technological capabilities and global civilizations that have been systematically ignored or suppressed, whether through rediscovery of lost ancient knowledge, recognition of prehistoric global technological civilizations, or acknowledgement of contact with advanced non-human intelligences. Our understanding of human history and technological development appears destined for revolutionary changes that will challenge fundamental assumptions about our species, past, and capabilities. Recent technological advances continue, revealing new mysteries about the pyramids, while simultaneously confirming that our understanding remains frustratingly incomplete. Despite centuries of investigation, modern scanning techniques, computer analysis, and sophisticated archaeological methods keep uncovering evidence that challenges conventional explanations while supporting alternative theories about ancient capabilities. And the ambitious Scan Pyramids project, launched in 2015 by an international consortium of researchers, employs cutting-edge technology to explore pyramid interiors without causing damage or requiring invasive techniques. Muon tomography, thermal imaging, and advanced 3D modeling techniques have revealed previously unknown voids and structural features that suggest these monuments are far more complex than anyone previously imagined. The shocking discovery of the massive Big Void above the Great Gallery in 2017 sent tremors through the archaeological establishment. This hidden chamber, approximately 150 feet in length, had remained completely concealed for over 4,000 years of human investigation and exploration. The void's enormous size and strategic positioning within the pyramid structure suggests it was a deliberately planned architectural feature rather than an accidental gap left by ancient builders. Its purpose and potential contents remain completely unknown because Egyptian authorities have consistently prevented any direct exploration or investigation of the space. Thermal imaging surveys have detected significant temperature anomalies throughout pyramid walls, or different construction materials concealed behind visible surfaces. Some areas maintain consistently different temperatures from surrounding stone, suggesting air pockets, hidden voids, or unknown materials that affect thermal conductivity. Ground-penetrating radar surveys conducted around the Giza Plateau have identified numerous subsurface anomalies that could represent previously unknown structures, chambers, or tunnel networks. These underground features might connect to the known pyramids, or could represent completely independent monuments that remain buried beneath centuries of sand and debris. The recent discovery of a 30-foot corridor near the Great Pyramids entrance demonstrates that major structural features of these monuments remain unexplored and unknown. This passage, hidden behind the pyramid's outer casing for millennia, was revealed only through advanced scanning techniques that can penetrate stone without causing damage. Sophisticated computer modeling of pyramid construction logistics has revealed that conventional explanations for building methods face serious mathematical and logistical problems. The challenges of quarrying, transporting, and precisely positioning millions of massive blocks within the supposed 20-year construction timeline require workforce numbers and efficiency rates that seem impossible with available ancient technology. Advanced analysis of tool marks and surface finishes on pyramid stones has identified cutting patterns and precision levels that don't match any known ancient implements or techniques. Some surfaces show clear evidence of mechanical machining rather than hand tooling, suggesting access to powered equipment that conventional history claims didn't exist. Chemical analysis of pyramid mortar and construction materials has revealed unusual compositions that don't match local geological resources or known ancient recipes and techniques. Some samples contain compounds and molecular structures that would be extremely difficult to produce without sophisticated chemical knowledge or advanced processing equipment. Recent archaeological expeditions to global pyramid sites have documented remarkable connections and similarities that strongly support theories of worldwide ancient civilizations with shared technological knowledge. Precision cutting techniques, Astronomical alignments and construction methods appear consistently across continents and supposedly isolated cultures. The ongoing investigation of the Bosnian pyramid complex continues, providing controversial evidence for advanced prehistoric European civilizations. Carbon dating results, suggesting these structures predate Egyptian pyramids by thousands of years, indicate that pyramid construction technology might have originated outside the Middle East entirely. Advanced computer analysis has identified previously unrecognized mathematical relationships encoded in pyramid dimensions and proportions. The monuments appear to contain far more cosmic constants, astronomical data, and mathematical principles than early researchers realized, suggesting even greater sophistication in their original design and purpose. Satellite archaeology, employing high-resolution imagery, has revealed numerous potential pyramid sites and geometric formations that remain completely unexplored. These discoveries suggest that the global extent of ancient pyramid construction might be far larger than currently recognized or acknowledged by mainstream archaeology. Improved dating techniques applied to organic materials found within pyramid construction contexts have produced controversial results that suggest some structures might be significantly older than conventionally believed. While these findings remain disputed, they support theories proposing much greater antiquity for megalithic construction worldwide. Recent geological analysis has confirmed water erosion patterns at various pyramid sites that support theories of much greater age for these monuments. Evidence of ancient flooding or dramatically different climate conditions suggests construction during periods when regional environments were completely different from historical conditions. Advanced acoustic analysis has definitively confirmed that pyramid chambers possess unusual resonance properties that appear deliberately engineered rather than accidentally created. The specific frequencies produced by these architectural spaces match mathematical harmonics that suggest the monuments were designed to function as sophisticated acoustic instruments. Archaeological discoveries throughout Egypt continue revealing evidence of advanced ancient technologies that don't appear in conventional historical narratives or developmental timelines. Precision tools, complex mechanical devices, and sophisticated metallurgical techniques suggest technological capabilities that far exceed what historians traditionally attribute to ancient civilizations. Artificial intelligence applications in pyramid research have identified architectural patterns, mathematical relationships, and design principles that human researchers overlooked or couldn't recognize. Computer analysis continues, revealing new layers of complexity and sophistication in these ancient monuments. Modern construction experiments attempting to replicate pyramid building using supposedly available ancient tools and techniques have consistently failed to achieve the precision, efficiency, and scale that actual pyramid construction required. These experimental failures highlight the enormous gap between ancient achievements and our current understanding of their methods. The systematic resistance to investigating new discoveries and the continuing limitations on access to pyramid sites suggest that established institutions prefer maintaining current narratives rather than pursuing truth regardless of where evidence might lead. The suppression of research and restriction of site access prevents comprehensive investigation of accumulating revolutionary evidence. Future technological developments will likely reveal increasingly surprising discoveries about pyramid construction, purpose, and the capabilities of their builders. As analytical methods improve and become more sophisticated, these ancient monuments continue yielding secrets that challenge every assumption about ancient civilizations and human technological development throughout history. The mounting modern evidence consistently points toward ancient capabilities that far exceed conventional historical models and developmental timelines. Whether through advanced prehistoric human civilizations, contact with non-human intelligence, or access to lost technologies and knowledge, pyramid builders clearly possessed understanding and capabilities that we're still struggling to comprehend and replicate. After examining mountains of evidence from engineering impossibilities to global patterns of suppression, a disturbing picture emerges that extends far beyond simple questions about ancient construction techniques. The pyramid mystery reveals systematic efforts by powerful institutions to conceal fundamental truths that could completely transform our understanding of human history, technological capability, and our species' actual place in the cosmic order. The conventional narrative about primitive ancient civilizations serves entrenched interests that benefit enormously from maintaining carefully constructed historical timelines and developmental models. Academic institutions, government agencies, religious organizations, and corporate entities have invested massive resources in promoting specific versions of human progress that support their authority, worldview, and financial interests. Educational systems worldwide systematically teach oversimplified histories that deliberately ignore contradictory evidence, suppress alternative theories, and dismiss anomalous discoveries that challenge approved narratives. Students receive sanitized versions of human development that eliminate the genuine mysteries, impossible achievements, and unexplained phenomena that make ancient history genuinely fascinating and revolutionary. The consistent pattern of evidence suppression becomes undeniably clear when you examine how anomalous archaeological discoveries are systematically handled by institutional authorities. Artifacts disappear into restricted storage facilities. Research funding gets mysteriously cut when investigations approach uncomfortable conclusions. Scientists and researchers who propose alternative theories face professional destruction, career sabotage, and academic exile. The system consistently rewards intellectual conformity while ruthlessly punishing investigation of possibilities that threaten established paradigms. Independent thinking becomes professionally suicidal when it challenges fundamental assumptions about human development, ancient capabilities, or the timeline of technological progress. Major archaeological sites worldwide remain under strict government and institutional control, with severe access restrictions that effectively prevent independent investigation of the very locations that could resolve long-standing mysteries and revolutionary questions. The institutions that control physical access also control the narrative about what these sites represent and what conclusions can be drawn from available evidence. International cooperation between governments frequently involves formal and informal agreements to suppress discoveries that could prove politically, culturally, or economically disruptive to established power structures and belief systems. Evidence of advanced prehistoric civilizations could fundamentally challenge modern assumptions about technological progress, social development, and institutional authority. Corporate media organizations play crucial roles in maintaining conventional narratives by systematically ridiculing alternative theories, limiting coverage of anomalous discoveries, and focusing public attention on approved interpretations that don't threaten established interests. Documentaries about ancient mysteries typically present superficially balanced viewpoints that ultimately favor conventional explanations while marginalizing revolutionary 45 evidence. Religious institutions maintain particular interests in preserving chronologies and developmental models that support their theological frameworks and doctrinal authority. Evidence of advanced ancient civilizations, prehistoric global cultures, or extraterrestrial contact could challenge fundamental religious beliefs about human origins, divine intervention, and spiritual authority that form the foundation of institutional power. Military and intelligence agencies recognize that advanced ancient technologies could provide strategic advantages that must be kept classified for national security. If ancient civilizations possessed capabilities that modern science hasn't redeveloped, studying their methods could yield revolutionary advances in materials, energy, transportation, or communication technologies. Economic interests create additional powerful incentives for systematic suppression of revolutionary discoveries. Tourism industries built around established historical narratives could suffer devastating financial losses if alternative theories gained widespread public acceptance. Museums, educational institutions, and cultural organizations have invested enormous resources in promoting specific versions of ancient history. The academic peer review system has evolved into a sophisticated gatekeeping mechanism that prevents dissemination of research, challenging established theoretical frameworks and paradigms. Scientists quickly learn that questioning fundamental assumptions about human development leads to professional ostracism, funding termination, and career suicide within institutional academic structures. Government classification systems routinely conceal archaeological discoveries and historical evidence under national security provisions that prevent independent verification of official claims and conclusions. Military installations frequently coincide with major archaeological sites in ways that enable ongoing research and discovery. Suppression, far from public scrutiny or oversight. The Vatican archives contain vast collections of historical documents, archaeological evidence, and ancient texts that could revolutionize our understanding of human history and development. However, the overwhelming majority of these materials remains permanently classified, suggesting that powerful institutions possess knowledge they consider too dangerous or disruptive for public consumption. Corporate sponsorship and funding of archaeological research create systematic conflicts of interest when companies profit directly from maintaining established historical narratives and preventing revolutionary discoveries. Private funding sources often include explicit or implicit restrictions on research conclusions and publication of findings that could threaten profitable business models. The internet age has complicated traditional suppression methods, but has also enabled more sophisticated disinformation campaigns and information manipulation. Search algorithms can be programmed to suppress alternative theories while promoting approved narratives. Social media platforms routinely censor content that challenges official positions or institutional authority. Professional archaeological organizations maintain strict orthodoxies that systematically exclude dissenting voices and alternative perspectives from conferences, publications, and funding opportunities. These institutional structures create self-reinforcing echo chambers that perpetuate approved thinking while preventing genuine scientific inquiry and revolutionary discoveries. The suppression extends throughout public education systems, where textbooks present carefully edited narratives that ignore ongoing debates, unsolved mysteries, and contradictory evidence that could inspire genuine curiosity and independent thinking. Students never learn about the evidence gaps, institutional conflicts, and alternative interpretations that make archaeology and history genuinely revolutionary subjects. The technological capabilities demonstrated by pyramid builders fundamentally challenge linear models of technological and social progress that form the foundation of modern institutional authority. If ancient civilizations possessed knowledge and capabilities that were subsequently lost, it suggests human development might be cyclical rather than constantly progressive, threatening assumptions about modern superiority and institutional legitimacy. Evidence of prehistoric global civilizations with worldwide reach and sophisticated technologies threatens narratives of isolated ancient cultures developing independently. This possibility implies coordinated prehistoric societies with advanced transportation, communication, and organizational capabilities that challenge fundamental assumptions about human social and technological development. Despite systematic suppression efforts, revolutionary truth continues emerging through multiple channels. As independent researchers collaborate across institutional boundaries and share discoveries through alternative media platforms, the internet has created unprecedented opportunities for information sharing that bypass traditional gatekeepers and institutional control mechanisms. The accumulating evidence consistently points toward extraordinary possibilities that would completely revolutionize our understanding of human history, technological capabilities, and our species' relationship with advanced knowledge and intelligence. Whether through rediscovery of lost prehistoric technologies, recognition of advanced ancient global civilizations, or acknowledgement of contact with non-human intelligence, the truth about human history appears far more extraordinary than any official narrative acknowledges. The pyramid mystery represents merely one visible aspect of a vastly larger pattern of concealed history and suppressed knowledge. The same institutional mechanisms that hide pyramid construction secrets likely conceal numerous other discoveries and evidence that could fundamentally transform human understanding of reality, history, and our cosmic significance. The evidence suggests systematic deception about our species' actual capabilities, history, and relationship with advanced knowledge that transcends conventional, chronological, and developmental boundaries. The pyramids stand as monuments to suppressed possibilities that challenge every comfortable assumption we've been taught about ancient civilizations and human potential throughout history. As we reach the end of our journey through the mysteries of the pyramids, we're left with more questions than answers. And maybe that's exactly where we're supposed to be. The evidence points in directions that challenge everything we've been taught: impossible precision, missing technologies, mathematical relationships that shouldn't exist, global suppression of alternative theories. Whether built by advanced human civilizations, guided by extraterrestrial visitors, or accomplished through lost technologies we can't imagine, the pyramids remain testimony to possibilities beyond our current understanding. The truth about our past might be far more extraordinary than any official narrative admits. These ancient monuments continue whispering secrets across millennia, waiting for humanity to develop the wisdom and courage to hear what they're really saying. What do you believe about the pyramid mystery? Have we been told the whole truth about our ancient past? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let me know what other mysteries you'd like us to explore together. If tonight's journey into forbidden history has opened your mind to new possibilities, subscribe for more explorations into the secrets they don't want you to know. And remember, the most important discoveries often hide in plain sight, waiting for someone brave enough to ask the right questions. Until next time, keep questioning the official story. Keep seeking the truth they're trying to hide. And remember that some mysteries are more important than their solutions. Sweet dreams, and thank you for joining me in the shadows where truth and mystery dance together under ancient stars.